Welcome friends to my channel. This is part 2 of the Kreutzer Etude video lesson on Etude number 7. And we're going to be starting in measure 27. And as I mentioned in the first part, the difficulty of starting up bow, when we had this opening, we had to put more emphasis on the downstroke even though we started up. Well, now in the second section, we're starting down, and the bowing's actually comparatively to the first half, the bowing is much easier to play because we're putting the accent on the down bow, and I just feel like the up bow is almost like a reaction, and I don't have to put so much energy in. So in general, the bowing is easier in the second section. However, it's also more difficult to be accurate because Kreutzer, put in all kinds of different things and to be really aware of which string we're going to be on. So that's the difficulty with the bowing, just being constantly aware. There's that side of our brain that has to control the bow. There's part of our brain that controls the left hand, and then there's the other side. And of course, if you have problems with this kind of technique, go back to the Wolfart Etudes, Opus 45. Wolfart is the absolute best. That for in the intermediate level, there's still quite a lot of difficulties, but all 60 of those Wolfart Opus 45s, he is working bowing in one part of your brain, developing that. It's almost like if you're a pianist, you got some etudes that are working mainly the left hand while the right hand's doing something else, or vice versa. The right hand's doing all kinds of stuff and the left hand's just along for the right. So this is the same kind of concept that, at least this is how I interpret it. And so this second section is much easier for the actual technical aspects of down, up, and making it clean across strings, but the accuracy is more difficult. So there's also quite a bit of difficulty in the second section with the left hand. I changed a couple of fingerings, which I'll mention to you. For example, in bar 29, we're starting on B. Now here I play a fourth finger G sharp. Instead of lifting the 3 and going to a 3-2, I leave the 4 down and go to a 4. And with the 2, much easier. But then in the next bar, I come back with the third finger. That might be just me. You could try it with both fingers. I don't remember why I decided on that. But let's see how it feels. Oh yeah. It's obvious because the high B is a fourth finger. We don't want to play another 4 on the G sharp. But it's okay going up. And then in bar 31, fourth finger C sharp. And then in the next bar, back to third finger in bar 32. Now here's a little fingered octave. You can look forward to. I'm going to be doing a video about learning how to play fingered octaves, and I'll be recording the Paganini number 17, which has the famous fingered octave passage in it. But this is an example where we're doing a fingered octave and we're just extending that extra half step. And that's now here I have in the music, I don't know why they changed this fingering. I just play open. This is bar 34. At the end, I play 2-1. Why not? Fits right there. And then we move back to first position for this. Now this next passage, measure 36, this is a tough one. Because you got to open up to that E sharp. It's essentially it's an F natural. Think F natural, E to F sharp. That's a ninth. It's like a fingered octave. For me, for some reason, these obligato strings are tough to make the A string work. It's very scrunchy, right? Now, if I'm going to, at this point, matter of fact, I put a circle just for my own remembrance around the 3rd, 4th, and 5th note. I put a circle so I remember it's going to look like this. And then I shift up my whole hand a half step. Then I have the F sharp and the A sharp. So it's like a ninth moving up to a ninth. Sorry, just that. but then I could fit the E in. One more time. There it is. It's funny. It's an unusual action. Even I've practiced it and I could play it. Obviously, I played it for you, but it's still I have to think about what I'm doing. There it is. And now move up the first finger half step. This one's fairly easy, except for me to crunch it. It's hard to make that sound. Next one. So on the have to just be aware of the intervals. Half step across strings here. Now major third. Now up another half step. Now move up a whole step to C sharp. This last one on measure 38 is easier. Maybe it's because we've had a measure to regroup after this difficult thing at 36, at 36, excuse me. You know, having that, this is so weird. But, you know, those three measures, I say 36, 37, 38, isolate those, put a bracket, put, you know, parentheses, something, and put an H. So you just practice that every day that you're going to work this, and you just practice that. So it becomes kind of automatic. Then it's like when we hit this measure 39, letter T in the music, it's like, oh my God, I made it. That's like comparatively easy after all that other stuff. You're doing the string jumping, but as I said, going down, up is a lot easier than going up, down in the first section. So you got two different challenges there. Coming along here, 43, we have the change of bowing. And that's, of course, where he kind of throws that in there. So, suddenly we have to up, down, which is more difficult. So put the accents on the down bow. And I for some reason, I'm much more comfortable in third position here at measure 42, 44, 45. They have, in the music, they suggest second position. I don't know why. I mean, if you want to practice at second position, sure, but you're going to have to make bigger jumps because I have to only do that one. If you do the second, oh, that's a hard one. God, I can't even get my first finger on the E string. If I had to, I'd have to bring my elbow way around. Maybe I would also let the second finger go, which is not ideal. We'd like to be able to hold this finger down. But that's very hard to do. See, it's fairly easy to do if you pick that second finger up, but you're at risk of losing the intonation. So if you move this third position, it's quite easy. And you still have the bowing exercise. Okay, then. Now I go to second position at the end of bar 46. And then come back to first position at the last note of 47. Hit the fourth finger C sharp in 48. Now it's kind of interesting. You know, we've gone through this labyrinth of challenges with crossing strings, and now you think, oh well, I can relax. The last three measures are easy. They're just octaves. Wow, I actually had to, I confess, I had to record this several times, mainly because I had problems just being totally clean on these last four measures, right? The last three of the eighth notes. And of course, those aren't so hard, but the last one. So the point is, at the very end of the piece, you think, oh, I can finally relax, but you can't relax over those last few bars because, you know, you've gone through all this other tremendous difficulty, you know, and now you come to these and you got to stay focused, keep your attention there. Okay, well, I hope this is helpful for you to make this a little bit more enjoyable, to especially other people suffer with it. But it's a great exercise for clearing the strings, getting across, and giving you the confidence that you can play from the E to the G to the E to the G back and forth. And if you practice it, get the accents on those lower notes, you'll really improve your techniques quite a bit. All right, well, thank you so much for listening. If you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And we'll look forward to our next video on the next Kreutzer Etude when it comes. And in the meanwhile, Mendelssohn Concerto, Paganini Caprice. Oh, I'm also working on a Don't Etude, another Don't Etude of the Opus 37 series. So you can look forward to that also. All right, take care.